This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world.
I'm Bruce.
And I'm Jody. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Bruce.
Hello, Jody.
How's it going?
Sorry, I don't know if the audio caught me slapping my thighs there.
No, I don't know. That's fine. That's why I waited a second.
Yeah. Oh, good. Good. There we go.
What's going on today?
Oh, man. I've had a headache all afternoon. I don't know if it's something in the air or just me or what, but ugh.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that's going to cure it is this beer.
Okay, well, hopefully, I mean, it can't hurt.
Right. We'll see.
I've had those days where it's like, do I need more caffeine? Do I need more water? Do I need to eat? And I like do all the things.
Yeah.
And it's still nothing. And I'm
Right.
like, I guess I'm going to die.
It's just one of those days.
Yeah. Just all day headache day.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Always fun.
So
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, figuring out some big changes in my life and, being super stressed out and, all that fun stuff too. So I got a little headache, but that's normal because
Right.
I carry all my stress right in my shoulders and my neck.
Yes.
And then I don't sleep and, it's great. It's good times.
Always fun. Always fun. Yes.
So, yeah, it's another gorgeous fall day here in Portland. It's actually not raining.
Right.
So I'm not being facetious.
That's right. That's right.
It's a gorgeous fall day.
It is. It was actually cold when I got up
It was
this
a
morning.
little, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for me to get back into the swing of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to swing into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess on this week's episode, we're going to talk about big moves.
Big moves.
Yeah.
All right.
So I am going to be moving to Chicago, Illinois.
Illinois. Yes.
The champagne of states.
States.
Illinois.
There we go.
From the province of Illinois.
Nice.
I'll be moving to Chicago, leaving the Pacific Northwest. Just, need a big change.
Sure.
Haven't felt like I really have connected in real well with Portland. Like I've got, a couple handful of friends.
Right.
But it's just not quite what I need.
Yeah.
So my mental health has been struggling a little bit. I just need a bigger support network.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm excited about it. I'll be doing it alone because I'm alone.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo. But, I'm single. I'm not alone.
There we go.
But I've moved a couple times across the country already.
You have. Right.
I moved from Minneapolis to Vegas.
Right.
That was a big drastic change.
Yeah.
Thawed me out.
Yes.
That was a big change. And then from Vegas up to here to Portland in the Pacific Northwest. So that was another change.
Right.
So I'm going back to similar weather patterns.
To freeze.
To freezing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Going right in time for the balmy weather of winter in Chicago.
Like trial by fire. Or
Trial by ice.
Ice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm excited and, nervous and stressed and.
Well, Chicago's awesome. It's huge. There's lots to do. What you were saying about Portland, though, I think you've got a really good point. It's a weird city for making friends and really getting to know people and having that kind of, those kind of connections. Like you meet people, but it's like just like friends that you're just like so connected with. It's hard to find that here.
And, we moved in kind of a weird time. It was like just before the pandemic.
Right.
Maybe a year, I think, or so before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it was like barely starting to get involved and then, everything shut down. So that, nobody was really doing anything for an eternity, it seemed like. And then trying to come back out of that has been really difficult for everyone, I think.
Yes.
Everyone's communication is odd and, different and people are kind of standoffish a little bit or whatever. I don't know.
I think we've forgotten how to interact in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
and it feels different
out
now.
of practice.
Yeah.
And so, I'm I am the same. I, was
Sure.
very weird trying to get back out. I even had a mild panic attack one time trying to go back out, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
what are these feelings? What is this thing? Oh, this is a panic attack? Oh,
Right.
I don't like that.
No, thank you.
No, thank you for that anymore. Let's not do that. Okay. But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, I have, my best friend lives in Chicago, so that's kind of one of the main reasons Chicago.
Yes.
He's been really persuasive or trying to get me to move to Chicago because, when you have a bestie, you're talking about all the things that are going on.
Right.
So he's pouring a beer.
Yeah.
He's going to share a big bottle with me.
Yes. We'll have to talk about this in a minute.
So he's a big motivation. I have a few other friends that are living in Chicago, so it's not, I'm not going to expect one person to show me all of Chicago. But I'm very excited about it.
This was a horrible pour.
I'm sorry, you're not great at that.
I'm not.
I was watching you and I'm like,
let's let that
you're
sit
pouring
there.
it right into the middle.
I know.
Right
That was really bad. It's been a while since we poured a beer, I guess. I don't know.
Very foamy.
There's no excuse.
That's all right.
We'll just let it sit there and see what happens.
So, yeah. So we're just going to talk about like big moves. I know you've moved a couple times.
I have, yeah.
And, strategies or just kind of chat about it.
My move, the first big move was from the Midwest, from Missouri to California. I moved for a job, and basically it was like I got offered this job that I couldn't pass up, and we filled up my car with whatever would fit in there.
Right.
And I drove. I made the drive. It took a couple days, and made it up there, and it was basically like starting over in a lot of ways. Luckily my wife was there with me, and so that my wife and kids, who were very little at that time, they came out about a month.
Very little wife.
Yes, very little wife, very little kids. Everybody, they came out about a month after I'd been there.
Okay,
so
I was like, wait, what?
when I got there, we were staying in this apartment and deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, and I had nothing, no furniture, no anything. So I was sleeping on the floor for like the first week or so. Ended up getting a bed and all that, and got a few pieces of furniture, but I mean, mostly it was just like you're starting from scratch and making it work. And the weird thing about living where we were is that it was really like people weren't there to make friends. It was everybody working at like Apple and LinkedIn and Netflix, and they'd get up really early in the morning, they'd head out, they'd go to their job, and then they'd come home late, and that was about it. Yeah. And so it was just
I mean, their lives are kind of centered around that. And
totally.
I think especially there, those companies kind of make it that way.
Yeah.
Where everything is, the job and the whatever's the culture of that company, and
that's really what it was.
Yeah.
It was beautiful there, and we loved it. And the company that I was working for, it was pretty solid for about 8 months, and then things changed and they weren't solid.
Okay.
And all the managers were kind of let go, and so we were in this position where I'm looking for something new and trying to figure out what's the next job going to be. I'm interviewing for all these things, and I'm just realizing that that as much as we liked living there, it wasn't ultimately what we wanted.
Yeah.
And ended up finding a job up here and got relocated.
Nice.
And it turned into a whole thing. And so it was, the whole experience was weird. Just like going out there, it was great. I absolutely do not regret the move, and I couldn't see going back to where I was before. I mean,
Back
I love
Missouri?
it. Yeah. I love it out
Missouri.
here. Yeah, right. I was Southwest Missouri specifically, so it was very different from Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
And I'm originally from St. Louis, and I still love St. Louis. I love the city, and many of the people there, all of that. But it's
Shout out to St. Louis.
Shout out to St. Louis. But I definitely could not. I couldn't move to a small town again. For me, I think being in a bigger city is kind of in my heart. So that's you know, that's where we're at. And
Mhm.
I like so much about Portland. You know, it's getting around, all the scenery, so on and so forth. All
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
great, but I definitely get what you're saying. It's like when you're trying to make like long-lasting connections that you're really
Mm-hmm.
tied to. It's hard.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It's going to be definitely a challenge, but I'm kind of excited about it. I mean, I consider like Minneapolis, St. Paul, where I'm kind of from, a big city, so I'm excited to be back in like a bigger city again to have all kinds of different opportunities and yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited about it.
Nice.
What do you got there?
Okay, so this is a beer that you're probably going to hate.
Okay, yay.
Yay. It smells great. I'll give it that. Double Mountain Killer Green Fresh Hop IPA.
Fresh hop.
Yes. And it is.
That was a lot of words. Can you show me?
Yes, Double Mountain Killer Green Fresh Hop IPA.
I'm trying to go on to Untapped to find it.
Yeah. Killer Green. I think if you put that in, you'll
Double
get it.
Mountain.
Killer Green Fresh Hop IPA.
Killer Green. There you are.
There we are.
All
All
right.
right.
I don't want to look at it. I want to just find it and then
Yes.
sip it.
Enormous amounts of fresh hops from the Willamette Valley lend a kind forest character with dewy, ripe citrus and crisp, evergreen aromas. Be green. Drink Killer Green.
Ugh.
They also do a fun thing here. They've got a playlist where you can, I guess you can scan that and get a playlist from Spotify that goes along with it.
Uh-oh. Shh.
So,
Everybody quiet.
yeah, we'll see if this works. I don't know if you have to, can you just scan it like a QR code or do you?
I don't know. Or do you have to open Spotify?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hold on.
Feels-
Spotify.
Feels like a Spotify thing. So this beer is a 7.3%.
How would you scan it with
ABV.
that? I don't know.
80 BU. I haven't even had a drink yet. I don't know. And this is a.
There it is. Sorry. I'm like, how do you scan something?
Oh, there we go.
Scan.
Scanning.
Allow access. Scan.
Boom.
Come on.
Yep. Good.
Come on.
Oh. Hey.
Killer Green.
There we go. The Killer Green playlist. I like that. That's fun. Oh. Nice.
So this is Killer Green. I don't know what this is. Steel Guitar Rag by Roy Smeck.
There we go.
We don't want to pay royalties or
right.
fees, so we're going to stop that.
Right. So there
But
we
they
go.
have a whole playlist here in Spotify.
What else is on the playlist?
Themes from the Jetsons.
Okay.
Yep. You Don't Love Me by Dawn Penn.
Hmm.
A Message to You, Rudy by The Specials.
Nice.
Some Desmond Decker. Memphis Slim and Willie Dixon. Some blues.
Okay.
The Dave Brubeck Quartet.
Oh, hey. What's the song?
Blue Rondo a la Turk.
Okay.
And Take Five.
Yeah. Take 5.
Yeah, a bunch of, I don't know, there's all kinds of
Cool.
David Lindley.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if Double Mountain normally does playlist, but I'm guessing it's probably something that they do.
Yeah.
They've got the Killer Green. I think there was a Killer Red as well that I saw. This is just kind of one of those impulse buys.
And then you went for the double green.
I did. I went for the green. The other
It's
one.
not that bad. That first one,
Yeah.
I made a bad comment, but it's really not that bad.
Oh yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Pretty fresh.
I'm so used to IPAs and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah. Is it a good time to do that, or?
It feels like it might be.
I don't want the Starbucks logo.
Yeah.
I'm drinking mine out of my coffee.
Out of your Starbucks cup, as one does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Drinking beer. So what does it say? Oh, I forgot. On Untapped. Oh, and I looked away. Oh well.
That's all right.
Oh,
That's
well.
all right.
It's still a good picture.
Yeah.
So Double Mountain, 7.6 ABV.
Ooh, yeah, I like
you
that.
said all that hoppy, piney, smooth, herbal, sweet. Yeah, I'd get that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
The redheaded cousin. Yep.
I do feel like I probably should have had some lunch before. Yeah. Yeah.
Meh.
Right. That's right.
Killer green. Where's the killer red? It's talking about the redheaded cousin.
Oh yeah, right.
Less fruity than its redheaded cousin. See below. Where?
Okay.
See below where?
There we go.
Anyways, all right.
Here it comes again.
Oh,
all right.
We're coming around to the next photo opportunity. Woo.
Perfect.
Trying to take
Yes.
some photos for y'all.
We are.
Since I won't be here to.
Yep.
We're still gonna work on continuing bearskin, so don't worry, y'all.
Yes. And heavy conversation. So
What did I say?
you said bearskin.
Oh, I did. Well, that too. Yes, bearskin and
Yes.
heavy conversation.
Both.
You know,
Yep.
a lot of things on my mind.
Yes.
Yes, we will be doing heavy conversation.
Yep.
I don't know what would you call that? Because
We'll be doing it remotely, but we'll still, and I have a feeling that one of us will end up in the other place for special episodes.
sure.
Summer is almost over, and my friend, we need new drawers.
Yes.
Bearskin has the boxers, briefs, and jocks that you actually want to wear in the sizes that you need. And it just so happens that I have a bearskin professional, someone who knows all there is to know about bearskin right here with me, Jody.
That is my title, bearskin professional.
Yes. Perfect. I like that. It's a good title.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about bearskin. Why do people need to be buying bearskin?
I mean, I'm a big fan. I wear them every day. I've been wearing actually the long boxer briefs a lot lately.
Really?
They're a little bit longer, just a little bit more coverage. Been really nice. They're just like comfortable, lightweight. Like I
Breathable?
Yeah, they're really breathable. I mean, it really started back in the day when I was having chub rub issues. So it came out of a desperate need myself to get some better underwear.
Sometimes the best products come out of a real need
Right?
for a thing.
What was it, like 11 years ago? Yeah.
Wow. Time flies. So you mentioned breathability. So it's been hot.
Oh.
It's been very hot lately. And I know that if I'm not wearing the right kinds of drawers, it can get rough down there.
Yeah. Uncomfortable, rough.
It sounds like bearskin has a solution to that problem.
Yeah. I mean, all our underwear is a bamboo fabric blend. They're a lot more breathable, moisture wicking, all that kind of good stuff. And the boxer briefs and the long boxers also have a breathable mesh zone.
I like that.
So it gives you a little bit extra breathability right where you need it.
So it's like ventilation.
Yes.
At your most important parts. I like that. That's good. So you've got the breathability, you've got comfort, and lots of size inclusivity. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah. So we do small to 6XL, so that's a very wide range. But we also use a lot of bigger bodies in our marketing, so that's kind of breaking us out of the norm. I like to see bodies like myself when I'm trying to make decisions about what I'm going to wear, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I want to see what it looks like on a body like mine.
Right.
And if you look closely, you've seen me model quite a few times.
Indeed, I have. Yes.
I was in the pink backwoods sort of, what was it? Malibu doll inspired.
Yes. Very nice.
So yeah, I've modeled many times, which is fun. But yeah, just inclusivity with sizes really matters.
What's the size range?
Small to 6XL.
Love it.
Yeah. So you'll be able to find a fit that works for you.
Okay. Here's the most important question. Do you have a favorite pair, print, color?
Well, like I said, I've been wearing the long ones quite a bit lately. It kind of depends on what else I'm wearing. Sometimes, I would like the what is it? The ice blue backwoods. I'm a blue sort of my color.
Nice.
So I wear that one a lot.
I like it. That's awesome.
Yeah, if those are clean, I'll go for those first.
I've got some orange ones that I really like. So it's nice that you have colors that
we do a lot of bright colors, fun prints. Just to be a little bit outside of just navy, black, and gray, because that gets boring for me.
Well, I'm sold, and I think it's time for new drawers. So if you need some new bearskin underwear, you know where to go. It's bearskin.com, bearskin.com. Go there, get yourself outfitted. Trust me, you'll thank us.
Yes.
So one of my pardon me, one of my favorite bands that I had gotten away from for a long time and have now like just gone all in on them again. They're called Local H, and it's a rock band that's out of Zion, Illinois, but now it's Chicago. Now they're out of Chicago.
I was like, Zion is now Chicago.
They got pretty big like in the 90s, you know, kind of with a couple hits that they had, and then kind of just kept doing it. They've put out a ton of albums, and they have a podcast, and it is my second favorite podcast.
Oh, okay. Under Heavy Conversation.
Behind Heavy Conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Lifers Podcast, and they're basically, you know, they're talking to people about it's people who are just like deep into these. They're musicians. They're lots of people around Chicago, bartenders, producers. I mean, people from the music scene, all kinds of really cool stuff.
Nice.
There are a ton of episodes, but it's actually, it has turned into like my favorite thing. I listen to it all the time. And this week, I mean, as of now, they haven't done an episode, but they're on tour. Okay. So I'll give them that.
All right.
But
you could still do something on the bus.
I would love to see them there in Chicago.
Yeah.
I saw them so many times when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
I was a teenager. That was like my thing when I was a teenager. I'd go to as many concerts as I could. Loved it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a really good show, and the band is great. Their latest album called Lifers is fantastic. Highly recommend.
And it was the what?
The Lifers Podcast.
No, the name of the band.
Oh, Local H.
I was like something about an H.
Yep, Local H.
Local H. Sorry.
Yep.
So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about, because I know there's people are very moving around a lot. Some strategies or potential well, at least what my strategy is going to be.
Yeah.
For trying to meet people and join groups and.
Yeah,
do that sort of thing.
What have you done so far to kind of prepare?
So I'm a member of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. I've mentioned it a couple times. We're radical queer nuns. We do a lot of fundraising for local communities. We spread joy, get rid of guilt. Check us out at portlandsisters.org, or the San Francisco is our mother house, all that stuff. There's a new house or a new chapter starting again in Chicago. There was one many years ago.
Nice.
I don't know what happened. It fizzled out. People moved on. But a lot of sisters have moved to Chicago and are now trying to start another house there. So
nice.
I'm very excited about that. I've connected with a couple of them. A sister actually from Portland is there. She moved a couple years ago.
Awesome.
That I know. So I attended one of their monthly meetings virtually. I'm on, their Discord channel, getting all the gossip and, all the different things that they're doing together or whatever, just kind of watching, getting the vibe. So I'm excited about that. That's a big part of my life that I was sort of sad to have to maybe give up.
Sure.
Because when I first looked, there isn't a house, and I was like, oh, there's this, little baby mission house.
Right.
I don't know what exactly their standing is right now. There's different levels or whatever for new houses, just like when you're a new member. Sure. You have to go through different criteria.
Well, that'll be great. They'll have some of your expertise, and your experiences.
Yeah,
having been a sister here.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. They have a couple of gay bowling leagues. I've sort of just kind of checked out where are they actually bowling at.
Right.
How far away from the general area that I'll be staying in for a little while. Connected with a couple other friends just to reconnect, say hey.
Nice.
Hey, are you still in Chicago?
Yes.
What's going on? What are you up to?
Right.
I'm gonna be there. We need to hang out. So I've just sort of
you're making an effort.
Yeah, making an effort to
Right. If you're setting things up and you're
season the pot that I'm gonna be
right
mixing my life in.
Right.
Yeah. Conditioning the cast iron pot that I'm going to be.
You really do have to make that effort to get out there and be around people and just try to connect. And that can be scary sometimes. It can be intimidating, or it can cause anxiety. But really getting out there and doing that, you generally find that it's worth the time.
Yeah. So and I've also looked at potential gardening clubs.
Nice.
Or garden plots around, or art classes and stuff like that. There's so many options because it's such a big city that I'm like, okay, cool. Some kind of painting thing that I like to do.
That's great.
Just to start doing that again. And
yeah,
I mean, I don't want it to be completely focused around LGBTQ stuff, but that is a big part of my life. But there's so much more to life than just specifically that. Like, it doesn't have to be a gay group for me to
all the
want
things
to
that
join
you're
it.
interested in, all the things that you like.
I'm on a spectrum of the things that I like, so I gotta,
yeah, you gotta cover it all.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Done some preliminary work and investigating, but yeah, just knowing that. Again, I need to really put myself out there.
Right.
Go through those very uncomfortable periods.
I would say that you're getting out of your comfort zone, but you're not. You're establishing your comfort zone early.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And like I said, I've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
Already. It's going to be uncomfortable for a little while. As long as you know going in that this is going to just be awkward and weird, and you'll find your place.
Yes.
You'll find a spot to mingle, or if it doesn't work, you shift over here. Like,
right. You've got lots of options. You just kind of, you see how it works out. Go from there. This beer is fantastic.
I was like, you did like that.
Yeah, this was great.
That was your lunch.
Yeah, right. There we go.
That was a higher ABV too.
Yeah, you said I think 7.6, and this says 7.3, so it's somewhere in there.
Killer Green 7.6. Yeah.
So yeah, either way, fantastic.
Woo! I know my face is warm.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's very red.
Yes, it's you can feel it. It stays with you and warms you up.
So have you done when you were moving? I mean, I know it was mostly for work purposes. Were there things that you did to try to mix and mingle?
Yes. So when we moved from Missouri to California, it was like I was working, and that was taking up so much of my time, and just commuting around the Bay Area is like out of control. And so I did join I joined a beer enthusiast club.
I was thinking I need to.
And so they introduced me to one of my favorite places ever, which I think there's still one down there, but it's not the one that I went to. There's a place called Harry's Hofbrau, and Harry's Hofbrau
down in California.
Yes.
Oh, I was like, I feel like I've heard of that.
Harry's Hofbrau is like, it's kind of like a German cafeteria kind of. It's cafeteria style for the food and everything. And they have all this wonderful food, but then they have a ton of different beers, and it's old school. The place has been there forever, so it's just like, I would go to these meetings, these club meetings, and there was tons of people that would be around this big table, and they'd order these different beers, and we'd try everything and just kind of talk about it, and just have a good time. It was a lot of fun to be able to do that. My time, like I said, our kids were very young, so 2 and 3, I think, when we first moved there. So it wasn't like, we were doing a lot of things and a lot of exploring the area, getting to know, Cupertino and everything right around there in the valley. And it was a lot of fun to do that. So we were checking out, parks. We were going into San Francisco and experiencing that, and just doing everything that we could around there. And I still love it down there. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a lot of fun.
Ooh, sorry. I'm like, I could maybe do an improv thing too.
Yes.
There's a lot of improv in Chicago.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, I'm not going to go to like Second City.
I was about to say.
I'm like, I don't know that I'm ready for that.
You should go to Second City.
I mean, I might go to see shows, but.
Yep. That's definitely worth stopping in.
I'm like thinking of new things as you're like, oh yeah,
there's so much to do. So, yeah, it was a lot of really just experiencing the place and getting to know the city. And then I think like moving up here, it had been so focused on I was so focused on work that I was making friends at work, but I really had a goal. Like once I had the job that relocated us to Portland, I was very focused on doing that job for a couple years, basically we were at a point where I knew I wanted to do Chubster full time.
Okay.
And in order to be able to do that, there were certain things that we wanted to make sure we had.
Right.
One of the big ones was we wanted to buy a house. And buying a house is insanely expensive on the West Coast. And so the goal was I was working for a place that helped with getting a mortgage and all of that, made it cheaper and did all of that. And the goal was you had to stay there for a couple of years to get that.
Yeah.
So I had to stay for a couple of years, get that. Then I could, I'd been building up Chubster. Then I could move to that full time. And that was my goal. And so it was a lot less. And I this is something that I regret, is that I didn't enjoy the time working at that.
Oh, okay. It was just like job. Only there for a goal.
Yeah. And I specifically, it wasn't that I wasn't trying to make friends, but I wasn't focused on that. I didn't let myself, because
you knew you weren't going to be.
I knew I wasn't going to be there. I didn't want something to pull me in and keep me, make me
from this. Yeah. This dream of yours. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so, and I definitely would not do that again. In hindsight, that was a horrible idea. Don't do what I did. Enjoy the time. Keep your eye on the ball. If you're really trying to do something like that, you can have that goal, but you can also make friends and you can enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And I just didn't do that. And I definitely regret not enjoying that and not taking that time and really getting to know the people that I worked with better, because I was working with amazing people. I mean, the people that I worked with there, the company ended up being purchased by a bigger company and then purchased by a bigger company.
Oh.
And
a little Pac-Man going on.
So everybody's kind of gone their separate ways, and they do all these other things, and it's great to see what everyone else is doing. I'm on LinkedIn like everybody else, so you can see. Yeah. And I think that, especially when you're working somewhere and you go to an office and there are a lot of people there, it's like that's where people make their friends in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So
that's been a really difficult thing, because working for Bearskin, it's just Bjorn and I.
Yeah.
So it's not like you go to work and you have that built-in thing of making friends with all these people.
Yeah.
So, and that was the thing when we moved to Vegas too. It was like, okay, we don't know anyone. We work for the company together.
Yeah.
We're doing that. So.
Right. And so that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And working for the company that I was working for, it was also a startup. It was a startup that had just been purchased. So it was the first and probably last time that I got to work in that startup environment where it was
really
awesome, exciting, ridiculous.
They're spending money like crazy.
Oh man. Oh my God. I can't even imagine as a business owner. Yeah. So, I mean, it was,
and they don't even, companies don't even do that kind of stuff anymore.
No,
really.
No, they don't.
They've learned.
Yeah. Yeah. They've learned. So
hopefully.
Yeah. But I think, then the pandemic hit, and that really kind of just made it so difficult to, to make friends, to get to do anything, to be around anybody.
Right.
And, I definitely think that since then it's been really hard, and it feels very different, and you really have to make an effort to get out there, try to meet people and try to do things. And I think the way that I've been looking at it lately is I want to do more things. And so it's less about, my hope is that as I'm doing things, I will meet people, but
you got to do the thing.
But you got to do the thing. And so,
you got to build it so they can come. Right. You can't just keep doing the same thing and expect friends to just happen.
Totally. And it's so easy.
Other than those 3 that are sitting over there.
Right. Exactly.
Those 3 friends that are imaginary.
Yes.
That I talk to.
Right.
I'm mad.
And it's so easy to just do your same thing day in and day out and not try anything new, and or to not even something new, but just things that you enjoy, things that you love. Because I think as we get older, we have all these other responsibilities, and it's easy to just push things out of the way. And I'm trying to do less of that.
Maybe I should challenge you to join a beer enthusiast group here.
Yes.
I can't imagine there's not
I know that there is like
something.
I know there's like or at least there was a Portland subreddit beer meetup that was a monthly thing.
Because I know that there's a gay one, but they were always doing it way the hell out in the burbs.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, y'all.
Right. Do it in the city.
Come into the city, please. I'm not going out to BF Beaverton.
Totally.
For nothing.
I'm gonna do that. In this next month, I am going to find a thing that I like to do and go do it.
Okay.
I know that. So Portland's a really big, like, it's a big city for the comic book industry, believe it or not. So writers, artists, inkers, colorists, all of those people, and a lot of the companies like Dark Horse is here, Dark Horse Comics and Image Comics. You know, all these companies are here, and these people that are really well known in the industry are here as well. And you know, there are lots of different kind of interesting meetups and things along those lines. So you know, there's a lot of things to look at doing.
And that's the thing too. Like I know it's like I want to do all these things, and then I get overwhelmed and do none of them.
Yeah.
So it's weird when I like give advice to other people, and I'm like, why can't I hear that same advice for myself?
It's always so much easier to give other people advice.
I was like talking to my cousin. She's like, I want to do all these things. And I was like, just pick one.
Right.
Just pick one and do that. And then as soon as I said it, I was like, wow, Jody.
I totally lost my train of thought on the comic thing. I blame the beer.
Yeah.
But there was a comic book shop here in town that was pretty well known and beloved, and they did like a basically a book club where they'd give you like a graphic novel or whatever. You get this graphic novel, and then you'd come together and you talk about it.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was a cool thing. That'd be fun to do. Maybe cool isn't the right word, but you know, depending on how you feel about all of that. I love it.
I don't know what the kids are saying these days.
I think
is it Riz? Is that the word?
It's Riz.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if I'm using that word right.
I'll never say that again. But no, I love the idea of some of those different you know, things like that, just where you're able to do these things that you really like, that are really interesting to you, and you can kind of get out there.
That is not the right word.
Okay.
No. Sorry.
Yes. I'm going to make a concerted effort to do at least one thing.
Join one thing.
Yes.
That has people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Me too.
All right.
In November.
Yes. I know. It's going to be crazy.
I know. I'm like, it's mid-October.
You've been here for so long. It's going to be weird, you know.
It is going to be weird.
Yeah.
I know I'm definitely going to miss our hangouts.
I know.
It's nice to
kind of being able to do this.
Yeah.
And
because it was sad when we weren't doing it.
I know.
So I'm a little nervous about doing it again.
I know. We'll have to figure it out. We'll really have to think it through and figure out how we make sure.
Yeah, I don't know if Zoom is going to be the answer.
I know. I'm thinking that too.
One of those platforms we'll have to.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we will. It'll be good.
Because I'm taking one of these microphones and things with me.
That's right.
In this studio that we have going on.
Yep.
It'll be a little different, but you know, life is all about change.
Yes.
And how you adapt to change.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, yes, all of that's happening. I'm very excited for you. I think this is going to be good. I really think that you're doing something that it's time.
Mm-hmm.
We need to talk about our thing of the week.
Uh-oh.
I've got one that I know you'll appreciate as well.
Do you have more beer?
I wish I could use like 3 more of those. AI.
Okay. Yeah.
We're going to talk about AI. So I know for some people the idea of AI is kind of like a scary. It's the boogeyman.
Yeah,
you know,
they're going to take over the world.
Yeah, and I get that. And there are definitely ways that AI can be used that aren't great. But I will say that I've started using it recently for a lot of different things, for work stuff, for personal stuff, for planning, all of that. It's been great.
Yeah, I've been too.
It's so good. It has made a difference with a lot of things where, especially, it's easy for me in my head to get like overloaded. I'll start thinking about all of these things that I need to do or something I need to figure out. And that means that I've got to do this research and I've got to figure this thing out. I've got to walk through all these steps. AI has really helped me cut down on the time that it takes to figure things out,
Yeah.
and then actually do them, and that's made a big difference.
Yeah.
So
I've used it, yeah, definitely, like as like a when I'm writing something, I'll write my thing, or
yeah,
doing some contracts and planning for moving and all that stuff, and I'll put my thoughts and ideas down, and then I'm like, okay, take this and make it sound professional.
Yep.
Or my trick, here's a trick that I like, because you start looking into AI stuff and they start giving you tricks. I use Chat GPT, whatever. I think my prompt is act as a prompt engineer. Oh boy, I gotta look it up.
Okay.
I should have been doing it when you were talking.
So while you're looking it up, I'll say I am using Chat GPT for almost everything except for writing. I'm using Grammarly AI for that because I had been using Grammarly before, and so it will take whatever I'm writing and then I can kind of make it sound more professional, make it look better, where it's still able to get my point across.
Yes.
And that's the great thing, I think, about AI for writing, is that it's been really good for me in that I don't want something to write for me, but I do like having an editor that takes a look at my stuff. Because with Chubster, when there are other writers, I'll edit their stuff, but for me, I don't really have that. So it's nice to have that, and
it sounds good in your head, but then sometimes when you write it down, you're like,
totally.
People are like, what the hell?
And Grammarly does a good job of showing me the things that I mess up on constantly. These are the things that you always do. And I'm not trying to fix those things.
Yeah,
like
that's
to be
your
clear,
personality. Yeah.
I'm too old to get like
this is how I write.
This is how I write.
Yeah.
So if I can write these things and then Grammarly says, well, here's a better way to do it, then I can take some of that and reword it.
But it still has to be me. Okay.
Totally.
Sorry, I found the thing.
Yes.
So it says, act as a prompt engineer, review the following prompt for me, optimize it to make it better, ask me any questions before you get started.
Nice.
So then it
I like that.
Because, it's all about the prompt that you give it. It can only do so much with what you ask it or what you... So then it's like, okay, before optimizing your prompt, here are a few questions to fine-tune the output. And it's like, do you want this? Is it this tone? Sometimes it'll ask about tone, or it just asks all these clarifying questions. You give it, you answer those couple questions, and then it's like, okay, here's the prompt. Do you want me to... and then it does it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, write me a resume for this job, or whatever. Ask me, and you're like, and then it just like, meh.
It gives you something and you're like, yeah.
That doesn't sound great. So
I wrote an article and then I threw everything into Chat GPT to see how it would edit compared to Grammarly. And it's definitely not geared. It wasn't, at least I didn't give it the prompts that I needed for that.
But you can definitely be like, because I've done it for some emails. Yeah. When I'm just like, I don't know what to say about this anymore.
Right.
And I'm like, here's my email. Ask me some questions to make it, whatever, to make it better. And then I'm like, oh, I want it to be a playful tone.
Right.
What sort of customer are you going after? New or repeat customer? Like,
totally.
It asks you these questions. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then it's like, oh, blah blah blah, fun. And I was like, oh.
It also does a really good job. There are sometimes when I'm thinking of it, might be an email or something where I know what I want to say to someone, and I can get out kind of my word vomit and say, this is what I'm trying to say and this is why. And then it's able to take that and make that work and turn that into something where I'm like, okay, yes, that's what I was trying to say in a much more eloquent fashion.
Yeah, I've done it for some Bearskin collaborations or like sort of contract things. I'm like, this is what they're asking me.
Right.
What do I need to say to get whatever?
Yeah. And it works.
And then I sometimes I use parts of it or yeah.
I mean, I'm finding that I'm using it for work stuff. I'm also yesterday. So I am the secretary of my kids' PTA.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And there's a whole long story.
Okay,
That's another episode.
Sure.
the PTA episode of Heavy Conversation. Basically, yes. So I'm doing that, and there are we're trying to build this thing back up, and it's been kind of tricky. And so I've been able to talk to ChatGPT about some different ideas that I've had, and also like best practices from other, you know, PTAs. And
it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, and it's
Robert's rules.
It is. It's.
I will say that right now. Robert's rules of engagement. Look that up.
Okay. All right. There we go.
It helps.
All right. Perfect. But it's been so great, and now it starts to know you, and it keeps, you know, memory saved. It says.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Now it like can pull back from old other things. I'm like,
totally.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you about that.
And it's so great, and it remembers those things, which is wonderful. So
I'm like, I did that. I randomly, I was like, write a post about this,
right?
And then it was like, and I was like, oh, actually, oh wait, why are you including that?
Totally.
I was like, oh, that because I already asked that up there. So now I know there's like, yeah, you got to start for a completely new thing, start a whole new chat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, are we talking about this still?
Yeah, and you can add there are different kinds of, I don't remember what they're called, add-ons.
Add-ons.
Or something.
I don't have any.
Yeah, so that are specifically focused on different kinds of things.
Yep.
So it's great. It has actually been really handy, and I love it, and I will continue to love it until it has an unkillable exoskeleton that it's been put into.
It's morphed
and
onto my skin.
Takes over humankind.
Yep.
But it does kind of feel like an extension of you in the way that it's like you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to just copy and paste exactly.
Sure, totally. But it's like
use some of it. It's fun.
You now have a way to access information that you didn't before, and
yeah, I can't even imagine what that's going to do to like
everything,
kids, and like trying to grade papers and
totally. I mean, they use it for medical uses. I saw something today where it found potential breast cancer in someone like years before it would have turned into something more serious,
like via a scan. Or
there's some kind of scan. It was able to identify.
It was reading the scan better than the technician or whatever.
Yeah. Huh. So I'm excited to see where this goes. There are definitely limitations that I would like to see. They need a better interface for that thing for sure. I have so many chats. I need one that give me folders so I can say like marketing.
Maybe that's in the paid version.
Yeah, PTA,
right?
All these things, beer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love it. So
Yay,
AI thing of the week.
Not AI imagery and fake political ads.
No, none of that.
None of that. Boo to that.
Boo to that. Ooh, that's coming up.
Toot and boot. Boot that.
If you're listening to this, you probably already know, but you should vote. So
yes, if you haven't already voted, go vote.
Yep.
Get your ballot.
Do it.
Put it in the ballot box. Don't drop it off to some neighbor or to some person that's standing by the ballot box. Did you see that? They were like, oh, we're the ballot workers, and we don't want to have to dig it out of the thing.
Oh, no.
Oh,
horrible. Don't do that.
Yeah, put it in the box, put it in the scanner, however you vote. But go vote.
Go vote.
Yay, America.
There we go.
All right. Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Jody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.